welcome everyone to this edition of our Regal Live Series. Regal Live Series is a weekly series that aims to enable coaches to set up a commercially successful business by being the best coaches that they can be. To know more about us, you can visit our website www.regalunlimited.com. Today, I have the pleasure to host Debi Prasad Das. Debi, as we call him, is the former CHRO of Seat Tires Group. He's the current CEO of Potential Infinity. As the name suggests, Debi works closely with senior leaders to unleash their potential. Debi is also a partner that we're proud to work with for our Leader as Coach program. Thank you, Debi, for joining us today. With your permission, I'll quickly introduce the topic for today.
Yeah, my pleasure, Anirud. Yeah, please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, dear viewers, today Debi and I would be conversing on the topic from the best performing executive to the best performing leader. As we are aware, Debi, when you would have noticed in your corporate stint, very often the best performer is elevated to the level of a leader, but quite often there's a gap in the leadership quotient. So I would invite you for your opening thoughts if you could share.
Yeah, so thank you for broaching the topic, Ani, and I think it's extremely critical this point of time. When I look back to my experience and I see the initial 10, 15 years, and I have been HR head for quite some time, earlier also, right? For a small companies to large companies and then big multinational conglomerates and things like that. So you are a leader. Okay, right from the beginning, when you start your career, you become a leader. But actually, you are a functional leader. Okay, so you are a lot of time focusing on the functional skills. You are not actually learning leadership wisdom, but you are actually learning functional skills, right? So for HR, my first focus was to learn recruitment, learn training, be a stand-up trainer, learn organizational development, how to design and create one, and all those kind of things, right? It's only when you grow up and when you start maturing, okay, in your profession, then you realize that leadership is beyond function, okay? So, your functional expertise make you a functional expert. But leadership is about leaders, leading people, right? Inspiring people, making them find their true potential. Okay. So I remember Hema Ravichandar used to be my boss. She was the head of HR for Infosys when I was working for Infosys. And in some NHRD or I think NASCOM event, NASCOM HR event, we were all there. So Hema was there. So we were all who were part of her team were standing around, and most of us were CHROs in very different companies. So very large companies. And I still remember Hema saying that, look, I count my success as how many CHROs I have created. Okay. So how many leaders I have created. So these are extremely deep statements, right? And that is how you, that's what when you look at leadership, it's about reflecting and saying that how many leaders I am building. That's about leadership, right? So the difference, to start with, the difference between the functional leader or a business leader and actual leader is immense. Okay, so it might sound similar in terms of the connotation or the acronym, but it is very different, very different.
So they be very often then companies play catch up. Once the star performer is elevated to the role of a leader, then we see that leading, as you say, is a totally different ball game. So if I may ask you, what would be a few quick steps that our viewers can take today who are in the similar situation, that they suddenly gotten elevated, but they see that their leadership quotient is not there yet?
Yeah, true. So, and it's nothing right and wrong in that, Ania, and in that situation, right? Okay, so
right.
It's very normal, because when you are learning, so as I told, how we grow in life. So we all went through our 10th, 12th, and graduation and all, and we gathered a lot of knowledge, right? We read mathematics, we read geography, we read history, we read so many things, social science, and so on and so forth. So the base is our knowledge. Then as we went into profession, we started learning. Somebody became chartered accountant, somebody became engineer, somebody became professor, somebody became, so we started learning our skills, right? And as you grow, you actually operate from the level of wisdom. So leadership is all about gaining that wisdom. Yeah. So when you are actually growing in life, because of the organizational hierarchy or the expansion of role, you're actually working very deeply on your functional expertise. Right? You're
Hmm.
learning things, you're working on it. And so therefore, as you say, so we always evaluate ourselves saying that how good I am as a HR person, right? And how good I am at managing people, because managing people comes much earlier in our careers, right? So managing people, and by getting that designation or growth, we all assume that we know it. So, for example, I have seen many senior architect. Just because he become a senior architect, he thinks that I know how to do interviews, and I can always select a architect, right? An architect. So, but it is a fallacy. Just because you became a senior architect, you are not a good interviewer or not a good interviewer, right? By default, you don't become an interviewer. So my point is, similarly, just because you are given the role of to lead a team, you do not automatically become leaders. And when this realization comes, people say, "Oh my God, what is that I need to do?" And most of our coaching assignments come from there. Okay,
Hmm.
very young, high performing professionals who are growing very quickly. Then they realize, "Oh my God, something is missing. Why are we no more becoming inspirational? Why people are getting burnout under us? Right? People are hiding from us. People are not so happy. What's happening?" And they have a tendency of implementing their way because they have become successful. So they, hey, because I did hard work, I have become very successful. So I expect everyone to work like that. So everybody in my team should put in 18 hours. That doesn't happen, right? So you have to learn. So, and if I have to draw a parallel, because nowadays I'm watching Ramayana, and the Lord Ram, and he's one of the best kings that we ever had.
Right.
Of course, he was the divine himself.
Hmm.
But imagine when he came, he went to Gurukul, he learned all the skills, he came back, he immediately, so there is a coronation which is supposed to happen, which didn't happen.
Hmm.
But for the next 14 years, whatever he went through, the kind of exposure he got, the kind of situations he faced, the kind of decisions he has to make, he developed compassion, he developed judiciousness, he developed connect with the people around in the country. So that made him a supreme king, right? He became
Hmm.
a king which is uncomparable. So what I'm saying is that journey of leadership, we all are leaders, but who can vouch? How many people can stand up and vouch and say, "Hey, sir, you have inspired me. You have actually made me find my potential." How many people would stand up and say that? I think that's where we actually test our leadership. So what the leaders can do is about working on themselves. And leadership, as I told, is a journey within ourselves. It's not it's not knowledge and skill which you find outside of you.
Hmm.
Wisdom is within ourselves, and we learn through our reflection. So leadership journey is deep dive within. The deeper you go, and you find so much to learn, so much to explore, so deep it is. And I think that's the best part of the journey. And when leaders, when people find out the benefit, the fun of that journey, and then start changing.
So, Devi, if I may summarize, it's brilliant. You mentioned first awareness that yes, there is a gap and acceptance of it. and then working on yourself. And the wonderful comparison made with Lord Ram, as we say, was a great human because he never displayed super divine capabilities, even though he was divine. Which is why even
Yes.
today we aspire to become Maryada Purushottam as
Maryada
a
Purushottam.
legacy.
Correct.
I
That
would like to
Maryada
thank you for that.
Purushottam is the Uttam, the best guy. That Maryada, who are within those boundary of, you know, the goodness. Okay, that's what we need to really work on. Yeah.
And I think the choices, the lesson we can take is that at every point of time, he chose what's good for his people, what's good for those surrounded him.
Yeah.
And that's a quality of
Exactly.
understanding, really.
Exactly. He always did for his people, and so let's pick from that example itself. I think the judiciousness, the compassion, the decision, he took decisions which is not easy, but which is right. Okay. So he says, before I still see that before killing anyone, any Rakshas even, he says, I am giving you a last opportunity to change. Would you like to change? In my invitation to you, and be good to the society. Even for Ravan, even finally he says, I saw that Sita was, abducted, and see, Ravan took her away. And he says, finally, now I'll have to fulfill my dharma to kill the Rakshas and kill the devil and kind of rescue her. So he took decisions what is right, even for that matter, to honoring the father's commitment to the mother for going away for 14 years. Although it was designed in such a way that he had actually had taken birth to kill the demons, right? Rakshasas. But the fact that I need to honor my father's commitment. So he did the right things always. And he did it with a lot of love and compassion. Look at the love for his brothers. Look at the love for the same mother who actually wanted her to be away. Look at the connect with the ordinary people, the sabaras, the
Hmm.
now the lady who would give her the nuts and so on and so forth. So
Shabri.
Sabri, and then look at how Sugriv and the love.
Hmm.
So lot of things to learn. From. So what I'm saying is about leadership is I am able to achieve my KRAs and my OKRs, and my team can run and rest can die for me, is something that the functional, the high potential leaders look like. But the leadership above is taking a step back and saying that anyway my team would do it for me. What am I doing for them? What is their
Hmm.
potential? How can, without my guidance, they can become a better version of me, right? And they can go even higher distance. And what is that I'm doing for them? So that love, that compassion, the way to identify their talent, potential, give them that empowerment to go ahead and try it out. So those are the things I think what is important is to further leaders to learn.
So compassion for the team, looking at their potential and be willing if they outshine you, because they
Yeah,
created the next line of leaders.
absolutely. Some of them would eventually, but then that gives you the chance to work for yourself with yourself. And leaders are
So
very
maybe
well aware that that is a journey they are also traveling, right? They are also traveling. They
right.
have to be better every time, right? And better is not just about the role, the expansion of the role and the salary and things like that. Better could be just to be a mentor to people, right? I mean, there are leaders who have been
Hmm.
doing in big parties. You see, the Margdarshak Mandal. So you can actually be people. It's like a board of a company, right? The board is not going on the
Right.
working on a day-to-day basis, but the board determines, but board encourages, inspires, board helps, guides, and shows them path to do better, right? So that's how it is. So we always need to, the leaders need to up themselves to the next level, so that there is enough space created for people to grow.
So, Debi, if I could pick up the thread from the previous segment, you mentioned that a lot of the assignments even you as an executive leadership coach get is this high potential
This piece,
leaders
yeah,
to coach them to become fantastic leaders.
yeah,
So, uh, um, an open-ended question to you would be: how would a leader who has an access to the coach in that transition be different from a leader who may not have access to a coach?
yeah. So, uh, a leader who has access to a coach, what happens is that coach mostly, if you see in classical coaching mode, the coach works as a mirror, sounding board. Okay, because look, even though ICF says right, the coaching competencies we believe that every person has the capability or ability to find an answer to their problem, okay? Or to find an answer wherever it is, right? They have the capability to navigate and find their way out. So therefore, and you are we don't do coaching to somebody who is a software engineer. We coach somebody who's a head of delivery or large responsibility. So that person has already proven himself or herself for 20 years, 15 years, 25 years, and things like that. So you're not going to really tell him how to do things. In the process, what the coach does is, or what's the benefit the coaching gets is using, seeing what kind of possibilities are emerging, checking his own thought processes, right? What's the direction we're taking? And also in the process, lot of limiting beliefs, or let me say deep beliefs that we kind of formulate, or we kind of create during right from the childhood till the time, till the current stage. One of the things that the coach help you to ask questions and discover the limiting beliefs,
Hmm.
because he ask you why do you think this way. I mean, just out of curiosity, we ask them, right? And then the coach realizes, oh my god, why am I thinking this way? Or when typical behavior, right? Or I'm becoming very stressed under pressure, under stressful circumstances. I'm losing my own judgment, right? So there are a
Hmm.
lot of things could be happening, right, and which makes people unpopular. So the coach classically help you to think and identify, saying that okay, what is happening? What are the things which you could work on and improve? And also give you the lot of inputs about your blind self. Okay, so I'm not aware of how I'm doing, and when you grow higher and higher in the organization, you're actually blocking the sources of feedback. Okay,
Hmm.
so
Right.
less and less people come and talk to you, right? So this is one way that they learn, yeah, and that is the best use of having a coach. And the coach is a fellow traveler, right? Somebody really traveling. Just imagine a gym trainer, right? You are going to the gym, there is a trainer, and he's with you. Okay, so although there he trains you, but he's a person who is with you, so you can always speak to him, find out. So it's like that. A coach is a fellow traveler who is helping you many a times, clarifying your ideas and thoughts.
Yeah, that's so wonderfully summarized that as you climb up the ladder, the source of feedback go down. So you
Yeah.
have a fellow traveler who you can talk to. I think that nails it right there.
Yeah, the coach creates a safe space for you where you can actually be yourself and talk to, right? Lot of times, most of the time, the coach finds an answer to his problem. The coach never says anything because the coach may not be an expert in that area. But what happens is the coach holds that space for
Hmm.
the coach, and allow the coach to explore, allow the dimensions, allow him to explore push the boundaries and those kind of things.
I think holding that space is the key phrase in what you just mentioned.
Yeah,
So, Debi, as we're coming towards the last minute of our conversation, I wanted to quickly reflect on you and Mr. Subhash have facilitated just in the last financial year 4 open batches as well as a couple of in-house batches of the Leader as Coach
sure.
program. How
Yeah.
would Leader as a Coach program be a fantastic way? to bridge this gap from functional leadership to
Oh, absolutely,
true leadership?
absolutely. See, the best way, I always say earlier, if you look at Jack Welch used to say that the best way to learn is to teach. Okay, so so he was a big proponent that leaders should go and teach. Right. The same way, I also think, and Subhash and me are in unison in saying that the the leader should coach. Okay, should learn how to coach, at least learn a bit of the coaching competencies. And interestingly, Ani, what happens is most of the time at the beginning of the workshop, people walk into the saying that, oh, we want to learn, we want to change people, we want to inspire them, guide them. Invariably at the end of the program of 2 days or 3 days, they go out and they're very quiet and they say, yeah, I think there is a lot of work to be done on myself, and I'm going to first do that. So that's the best way they get motivated to develop themselves. So for us, Leaders as a Coach program is less about coaching others, it's about more about coaching self and developing self, right? And that has been the beautiful outcome of this initiative, and it's becoming very popular. All the programs have been excellent feedback, excellent.
And if you're just to reiterate the kind of participants that Devi and Mr. Subhash attract into the cohort, it's just fantastic. The quality of the conversation. And Devi, if I may add, building on your point, if
Yeah,
only you transform yourself, can you transform the client? So it's very brilliantly
yeah,
said.
absolutely, absolutely.
So Devi, thank you for this conversation. I didn't realize that the way time just flew by. I really enjoyed this edition today. Dear viewers, please feel free to put in your thoughts in the comment section. Devi, when he is free, would reflect and share his thoughts and guidance on the questions. Until next time, see you on the next Thursday from 9 to 9:20 p.m. IST. Devi, I hope to host you again very soon. Have a great evening.
Sure. My pleasure to be here, Anirudh. Thank you.